Welcome back, church. Today we're doing a continuation of the Ephesians 6 armor of God. All right. The past few times we've reviewed the helmet of salvation, the breastplate of righteousness, as well as the belt of truth. Today we're going to talk about the shodding your feet with the boots, the preparation of the gospel. All right. So, coming back, for those of you who are in marshals, as you know, this ministry is geared towards first responders, veterans who spent some time, seen some things, done some things, might be dealing with some things, right? So I'm going to be tailoring this message in such a way to where it's something that you guys can relate to. Right, so shodding your feet with the boots, the preparation of the gospel. What is that? What kind of piece of armor helps you in those ways? I recall going back, doing op orders while leading squads and platoons. And one of my favorite parts is getting to the very nondescript service and support paragraph, talking about, how are we going to get places? What's your transportation? And I always get the guys real excited. And I had this one pulled on me as a fast one from my commanding officer, and so I just pass on the tradition. And so I'm like, method of transportation is going to be the LPCs, and they would get all excited, and then I would then unpack that acronym as your leather personnel carriers and slap the boot and the pace count portion, and then, is the aha, I got you. All right, doesn't seem like much, but it is. All right, once you figure out the lay of the land, there's contour. It's hard. Not only is there different types of land, you got sand, you got mud, you got rocks, clay, you got quicksand, you got pitfalls, you got all kinds of crazy stuff to traverse with what you have. Not to mention the thorns, the thistles. There's a lot, right? And a lot of that has to deal with dealing with people, right? What do I mean by that? Well, essentially, preparation of the gospel implies that you've read the gospel and you understand it. You know what the good news is. You know what the message is. You know what your biblical worldview is. You're able to explain the faith to somebody, right? Paul says that you should have a ready defense and be able to explain why it is you believe the way that you believe, so that you do not appear to be a fool. You should be able to do that to anybody, all right? The challenge, though, is you deal with different types of people. You deal with pissed off people. You deal with people who aren't convinced. There's all kinds of demographics that are out there, right? Regardless of what it is, you've got a mission, and it's a commission, and it's to be an ambassador for Christ and to recruit for the kingdom, all right? So if you can't convince the Jews why it is the way that you believe and why they should believe the same, why they've been led astray, if you can't convince Muslims and Buddhists and people of other beliefs, if you can't convince atheists or people who have been hurt by the church or have some major reservation with God because of a wound or whatever the case may be, you need to learn, all right? It's no different than making sales, talking to people, being nice to everybody, kindness. There's all kinds of things to put on for it, but the preparation has to be in the gospel, right? Because you're going to get a lot of yeah buts, and they're going to bring up scripture, and they're going to point it out to you, and you better know what they're referencing and talking about, and to be able to explain it. But be honest with yourself and be honest with him. You don't know, you don't know. And if they really want to know, they should go look themselves. But if they want you to do the legwork, be willing to do that too. Be like, hey, I checked it out, and this is what I see, this is what I got from it. By the way, this is what it says in the Greek, this is what it says in the Hebrew, this is what that means, this is what it means historically, this is what it meant to its audience, that it was written to, this was their pre-knowledge that, meant to them, that they had beforehand, because it wasn't written to us, it was written to them. All right, so we got 2,000 years of cultural disconnect in history that we're not familiar with, yet it's still relevant to us today, the more that you unpack it. All right, so the important part is be prepared, all right? Be kind, all right? There's lots of ways to shod your feet with the preparation of the gospel, and hopefully you've got lots of them that you can source, all the different translations. I know a lot of that is due to copyright walls, and sometimes you get lost things in translations, but you don't necessarily have to read the whole Bible, but you do need to understand the gospel message, what it means that the hero that was spoken of old has come. The Commander Keen has come, and he is starting to set things right, and he's done quite a bit for you, and you might not know it, they might not know it, and you have to be able to unpack all those things for them. Anyway, that's all I got time for today, church. Hopefully this message blesses and edifies you in some way, and stay frosty out there.